that took us to Israel, 15 hours, not one empty seat. And nobody clapped this time. Usually everybody claps when they hit the ground, but it was not a happy time landing in Israel because it was during the war. Okay, Gary, you can let it start. So we met some great people on the airplane. I'm sure we were the only Gentiles on this airplane this time. I always feel safe on El Al airplanes. This is who met us at our gate. This is our neighbor girls that we've known for a few years, and they helped us with the suitcases. The Ethiopian girls, their dad works at the embassy. Not the embassy, but the Knesset. These are the girls. Oshrit's an electric wheelchair. She can't walk. This is the two daughters. They got some Mickey Mouse watches. We're having a Shabbat dinner in their home. They have a parrot, a cat, and 3 dogs. It's a very busy house in there, as you can see. This is Oren's small backpack he takes, I think, down to Gaza. He can explain about how much this thing weighs. Took a picture in his house. This was in the bedroom. This is in his Sukkot booth. This is not his house, right, Oren? This is some of the military guys. This is the booth that was set outside for Sukkot. Here's some of the guys. And I made a comment to the guy in the black shirt on the right. I said, I'd love to go down to Gaza. He said, I'll take you. It's beautiful down there right now. Yeah. So anyway, here's some more of the people. Go ahead.
Remember the guy here in the middle with the white sweater?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this is my commander. It's called Commander Bayer. And I have a little story about him, so just remember the face.
Okay, so Oren's going to explain who these guys are. That's his commander in the white shirt. Okay, you can go ahead and start up again. So these are some of the slippers that are handmade that we gave out to some of the soldiers there. We have some ladies that make beautiful handmade things. Deidre, who's here in our service, and here they are getting some of the handmade slippers. One of the ladies in Texas makes these. She gives us about 200 pair to take over. This is out Oren's backyard. This is a hostile Arab village. I said to Oren, could I go over and have coffee? He said, you could probably walk over there, Tom, but you may not come back. So here's the fence between Oren's backyard and a hostile Arab Muslim village. He said they're not nice people over there. So this is how close. This is on Road 232 down to the Nova site. There was lots of people murdered on the street in their cars trying to get away from the Nova site. We went to the different spots. This is one of the settlements down there close to the Nova site. There was 2 soldiers held this off. There was a bunch of people murdered right out front. They went into the little cement safe room here. I think there were 7 or 8 people gunned down in this little cement room, which is a shelter. You can see the bullet holes in the wall. We're standing out in front of this little building here. I always feel safe when I'm with Rafrat. She's always got her 9mm strapped on the side. This is at the Nova site. There was 350 people murdered in one small area during a music festival. We went down to this area and did a visit. This is just the pictures of some of them. That's Rafrat on the right walking. That's me in the brown shirt and the black pants. It was a pretty sad day down there. There was a lot of people visiting. And right here is on the Gaza border. This is the Nova site. It says you're standing at the Nova site. Just notice that there's threat of rockets coming in. You have 15 seconds here if the alarm goes off. By the way, this is Jesus' tomb. He's still not in there. Okay, he's risen. So we stopped at the Garden Tomb on our travels over there. This is right outside. We were the only ones there. There's no tourists in Israel at all right now. It's pretty empty. Very sad. Businesses are going out. This is our friend, Christian Arabs, in his store, Rami, and his brother, My Hair. He said, if you just remember My Hair, you'll remember me. So all the celebrities go in there. These are some wooden carvings. He wants me to buy the one on the left. It's $20,000. It took the guy 6 months to carve it. I did not buy it. This is Jeannie in the hospital doing her magic with some of the sick kids on the 6th floor. A lot of sick kids. She was in hospital rooms with kids. One little boy died while we were there. This is a special needs girl. I gave her a Mickey Mouse doll. She's 15. She kept coming over and hugging me. She was so happy to get this doll. This is in the area. And this is in the hospital. As you walk in, it's a memorial to just a few of the soldiers that have been killed in the war over there. This is the hospital we volunteer at. We've been there many, many years. It's very large, and we're well known in the hospital. We're pretty much the only Gentiles in there. This is Jeannie with a religious woman and a Arab Muslim helper in there, and they're all really good friends. I love Jeannie in here. This is Yair Pinto from TBN, and Rachel on the right, thanks to Joyce Goodman's son Michael. I'll tell you about that in a minute. We gave him a nice big donation. And there's another tomb that's still empty over there, and this is Lazarus' tomb. It's over in an Arab Muslim area. And they seem to have taken over all the really great areas over there. This is a friend, Elijah Katz, that's one of the security guards in Kedemim. Actually, we met him through Oren. He came and met us with his 4 kids. And he spoke in this church some years back, as you'll recall. So we had a great meal in here with the boys and a couple of girls, I think, too. This is our 2 neighborhood girls. We let them pick out a bouquet and make a bouquet up for Shabbat, the Sabbath. You always take flowers to a home for the Sabbath. And here they are, the pearls of our neighborhood, you know. They love us. They say, we love you, Tom. We love you, Jeannie. And yes, if you want to get rid of the enemy, you should take them to this place because they never find their way out. You ever been into an IKEA? You cannot get out. I told Orrin, I said, I don't believe you have one. Anyway, this is actually Samuel Bakir's items we took over. We had 100 pounds left over. We couldn't get all there. This is Ophir, who was shot and almost died. You can see his arms a little paralyzed. He couldn't even hold the check we gave him. This is down in Hebron. As a soup kitchen. This is one of the Israeli soldiers, female, that got one of the beautiful handmade bags that one of the ladies made for us, and she was really happy to get it. And here are 2 other girls, well armed. It's a very dangerous area. This is the Tomb of the Patriarchs just above us here. I'll take you there. And they got some bags. Here's Sarah's tomb from the Bible. We're standing over where Sarah, remember Abraham bought a tomb, and all the relatives are buried there. Abraham, we're standing over Abraham's tomb. Remember the man of faith in the Bible? There was hardly anybody in there. It's always awesome. And then here's Jacob's tomb, all in the same building. There's a cave down below where they're all buried. And Abraham bought the place and made a tomb. This is the Ethiopian center. The man on the left was the security guard there, and the man in the middle is Eldad. We take 2 suitcases, 100 pounds over. Here's Jeannie with some of the jewels there. Of course, they got new toys. And we did a craft class down there. We made a large financial donation to them. Here's Jeannie teaching the girls how to crochet. They're black Jewish people from Ethiopia. They don't speak English. They don't speak much Hebrew. We have to have a couple interpreters. We had 2 Israeli soldier girls that helped us. So these girls learned how to crochet while we were there. I'm usually passing out toys. Here's Eldad. Gary, could you stop it really quick here for a minute? Eldad and Sion, the guy in the other picture that was on the left, they held off the terrorists on October 7th. Some terrorists pulled up out front of the gate of the Ethiopian Center. They had a 50 caliber machine gun mounted on a pickup truck. They could have mowed down all 700 Ethiopians in there. God spared them. They saw a lady make a U-turn out front, and so they left the Ethiopian Center and chased the girl in the car. This guy here had a 9mm pistol. That's all he had, and the one guy had an M16. They went up and down the road, pulling friends, murdered in cars out. It was down close to the Nova Festival. So he took us down, showed us where everything happened. A lot of their friends were killed down there, but none of the Ethiopians were hurt on October 7th. This is real close to the Gaza border. Okay, Gary, you can go ahead. So we take a lot of things down to them, 100 pounds of brand new items. This is on the Gaza border, Nativ HaSarah. Our friends, Jack and Yael, Glenn and Lucille, they lost 20 of their friends right on the street in front of them. They were murdered on October 7th. Somebody came in with a lot of money a few months ago and put a huge olive tree. Those olive trees are 100 years old. They put 20 of them in for the 20 people that were murdered on October 7th. This is the biggest flag in Israel now. It's right on the Gaza border, and they can see it from Gaza. So it's like 100 feet high, and this is a house. One of the guys landed in the kite where I'm standing. He went in there and he murdered the mother and the 2 kids in this house. They were taking the playground away when we were there. This is another couple across the street from Jack and Yael. They burned them alive in the house. It was a wooden house. They poured gas around it and they lit it on fire while they were in there. That's their picture. This house is 2 doors up the street. There was a man's wife was in there. She was alone. The terrorists went up the street, shot and killed her. He was going in and out of the house while we were there. He's moving back in. These are trees we put in at the gate on the Gaza border with our own personal money. They were to remember Jeannie's father. We planted trees there. This is the security guard, Yossi Cohen. He says, Tom, I lost all of my friends down here on October 7th. He says, we hope Trump gets in or we're not going to survive. This is from a friend of ours that was stabbed a bunch of times. She thought she'd liven things up a little bit. This was from Kay Wilson, the one that survived the murderous attack. This is on the Lebanon border. This is a surgeon friend of ours and his wife. We took the train up there, didn't tell anybody, and we had to go in the safe room because of the rockets. And back down in the parking garage, these people buy flowers from the Tiv HaSarah on the Gaza border, and we put together a bouquet and they didn't want to charge us. Here I am on my new job with Oren in a restaurant on guard with my machine gun. Try this in California. It doesn't work. This is the Knesset where we prayed in here because this is where all the decisions are made for Israel. And it was a wonderful experience to get a tour of the Knesset. And here we are in front of the 2 flags. We need to keep praying for Israel and Jerusalem. This is the neighborhood girl coming over. Jeannie's teaching her how to crochet. I think this one's name is Corral or Safira, I can't remember. This is the Russian immigrants up in the north on Ariel. Jeannie, we do a craft class. Jeannie reads the Bible to them. We have a translator. And these are some soldiers. We went out to lunch up there, and Jeannie says, I think we should buy their lunch. So we bought their lunch. They speak fluent English. Everybody goes in the military when they're 18. This is, remember Shiloh, the priest, Eli, that had the bad sons? This is where he's buried. This is where the site of the tabernacle is just down below here. This is our friend, Yael, that is on a feeding tube now. She can't eat. She's up and around. This was a blanket that we gave to her. And here are 2 Bibles presented in Hebrew and English to her and her friend, Agam. There's another girl not in the picture. They call them the Holy Books. Thank you so much. This is neonatal up in the hospital. We take suitcases full of handmade items up there. I think that's one of them that Deidre made, Jeannie's holding. And the mothers come by and pick them up. Now, this little girl's named Leah. She has leukemia. We don't know if she's going to be with us when we go back. This is my wonderful doctor, my oncology doctor that says, Tom, you need to keep coming to Israel. Your blood is okay now. I'm not going to give you chemo. Thank God for him. This is a picture of Allah, their devil that they worship on the side of the Dome of the Rock. People don't really see it. It's been there for hundreds of years. He's a very evil-looking creature. And here's the Golden Gate looking on the Mount of Olives. Everybody know who's going to come back over the Mount of Olives someday? And I always go up to the Temple Mount right before I come home. This was the site, I believe, was the original temple in the Bible. Down at the end is where the Holy of Holies was. Jewish people mostly don't go up there because they don't know where the Holy of Holies was. That's gold on the top of that Saudi Arabia donated. As you can see, there was nobody up there the day I was up there. It was empty. And this man, Jewish, was up there praying, and we became friends. He said, I would like to pray with you, Tom. He was up there barefoot with a whole bunch of soldiers standing around him to guard him. And this is our friend Rami in his shop. He has a lot of famous people going there. He said, Tom, you got to meet my friends. This is Mike Huckabee that comes in the shop. And he says, I know another guy, Amir Safradi. He said, he comes in here. You should meet him. He's a Christian. The guy in the middle was killed. This is his mother on the left. We don't tell a lot of people, but this is the Kurdistan mob that runs the